You ever see somebody really smart do something really, really dumb?
They will go. It is Jacobs. He won't get it.
Now look, I'm a Lions fan, that's why I singled out Lafleur here, but every NFL fan knows the pain of watching their team line up in shotgun with mere inches left to go, only to watch the ball be snapped a full 5 yards back, where they then have to watch their running back get stuffed by a D-line that saw this play coming from miles away. The NFL is the pinnacle of football, with teams constantly looking for any edge, scrutinizing every play call. So why do these coaches consistently pick the worst possible option in these critical, high-leverage situations? Simple. It's because running out of shotgun is good, actually. Kinda. This video is a deep dive into the play calling tendencies and advanced analytics behind the most counterintuitive play in football, using this disastrous Packers play as a case study. Alright, so point number one, convincing all y'all that running out of shotgun in these short yardage situations is good, actually. Thankfully, the data to back that up is very easy to come by. I hacked together this little dashboard using R-Shiny. Code is on my GitHub. It's literally just a single R script. Over on the left side, you can see we've got all of our filters, which we're going to try to use to tease out some method from this madness. You can see right now we've got it set to pull data from the past 5 seasons, where it was 3rd and short or 4th and short, which I've defined as being 3 yards to go or less. And then over here, we've got our run versus our pass rows. And then we've got shotgun versus under center as our columns. And now inside each of these quadrants, I've got 4 key stats that we're gonna use to understand what exactly is going on here. First up is just the number of times that play was run. So if we start down here with our under center passes, we can see that in our sample of high leverage situations from the past 5 years, NFL teams ran a pass play from under center 1,025 times. Now obviously this doesn't tell us if those plays went well or not, but it at least lets us compare how often teams are calling what. Next up is yards per attempt. Now this one's a little bit better at measuring play success. Obviously more yards are better, but it's still falling short of what we really want to be measuring. Getting 2 yards on 4th and 1 is obviously better than gaining 2 yards on 4th and 3. That's where our third metric, EPA per play, comes in. In case this is your first time getting into the real, actually, football nerd circles, EPA is basically just a way of measuring how much better or worse a team's position is after a play. There's a bunch of different ways of calculating it, most of which actually use machine learning algorithms, but that's the subject for a different video. All you really need to know for this analysis is that bigger EPA equals better outcome. Then finally, our fourth metric, and probably the one you thought of at the beginning of all of this, first down success rate. Real simple. Of these 1,025 attempts, how many of them resulted in a first down? Now beginning with those passes from under center, you can see that they averaged 6.16 yards per attempt, just barely positive at 0.05 EPA per play, and had a 55.61% first down success rate. And these numbers pretty much line up with what you'd expect, right? If you're passing in these high leverage situations, then you're probably either going to get nothing if the pass is incomplete, or a whole bunch of yards because passing is generally very efficient. However, these metrics really don't mean anything without context, so let's meet the rest of our options. Behind door number 2, we've got our second passing option, the shotgun pass. Now the shotgun pass has been run basically 6 times as often in these situations, but it's a bit less efficient. Picks up fewer yards on average, those yards are less valuable, resulting in a slightly negative EPA per play, and it only picks up the first down 52.52% of the time. Alright, so passing is risky, we don't want to pass it. Let's look at our runs from under center. Way fewer yards per attempt, actually picks up less than 3 yards per attempt, but those yards are incredibly valuable. 3 times higher EPA per play than passing from under center, and a whopping 70% first down success rate. Now, to be fair, a lot of this is due to QB sneaks being included in this category. Of these 4,464 attempts, 85% of them were from only 1 yard out. So, okay, we've got a good sense of our options now. Down here, we have our high risk, high reward passing options. And then up here, we've got our reliable but very limited under center run. So now, How does our black sheep, the shotgun run, stack up? Called 3,750 times between 2020 and 2025, the shotgun run, in high leverage, short yardage situations, picks up more yards per attempt than runs from under center, results in more EPA per play than any other option, and has a far higher first down success rate than both of our passing options. Running from shotgun is good, actually. Okay, so are Packers fans just imagining things? Should they shut up and let Lafleur call the offense because he's the head coach and they don't know what they're talking about? Not exactly. I mean, yes, he's the one running the offense for a reason. There's a lot that goes into being an NFL head coach, but the Cheeseheads do have a valid grievance here. If we look at Lafleur's numbers from the past 5 years, the stats actually look pretty similar to the league-wide averages. The Packers are above league average in their success rate passing from shotgun, which logically is what they call the most, but their shotgun runs look quite good as well, showing that same balance of yards and first down rate that we saw at the league level. However, the Packers have had two primary running backs over this 5-year span, Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs, and something very interesting happens when we split these stats accordingly. So if we isolate our stats to just the years where Jones was the lead back, we can see that the Packers ripped off an absolutely monstrous 0.3 EPA per play and a first down rate of nearly 74%. That's getting close to QB sneak success rates, and most of these runs are from at least 2 yards out. Honestly, if anything, the Packers should have been calling more shotgun runs in these situations. Fast forwards to the last 2 years with Jacobs, we see the yards per attempt on shotgun runs actually goes up slightly due to his home run ability skewing the data, but it hasn't been nearly enough to make up for the drastic fall off in success rate. EPA per play is now negative at 0.05, and the first down rate is all the way down at 57.89%. With this change at running back, they've basically seen that first down rate drop from QB sneak levels of success all the way down to being pretty much no better than passing. And perhaps most confounding is despite this severe drop-off in the effectiveness of these runs, Lafleur is actually calling them at a far higher clip. With Jones, we saw that there was about a 26% chance of the Packers calling a shotgun run in these high-leverage situations. With Jacobs, that rate has jumped all the way up to 32%. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but these are the subtle play calling differences that win or lose games at the NFL level. Okay, so maybe Lafleur is just lazy and he just hasn't gotten around to fixing this aspect of his game plan, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt, right? He has all of these stats too, and I doubt something this massive and important would slip past his entire coaching staff. So why does he keep calling these shotgun runs in these situations? Let's play devil's advocate for a little bit and see if we can find any answers in the defenses the Packers are facing. Now, since we're using this fourth down against the Eagles as our case study, let's take a look at how this Eagles defense does stopping each of these play calls. In the interest of fairness, I'm going to limit our data to just the past 2 years, since that's when Vic Fangio took over calling this Philly defense.
Meatball.
And what we see is that, yeah, you're kind of fucked no matter what. Now, technically, the best option by EPA and yards gained is an under center pass, but the Eagles have only faced 14 of those in the past 2 years, and so our small sample size is being skewed really heavily by Puka Nacua and CD Lamb. And now whatever you do, don't even think about trying to throw out of shotgun against this Eagles defense. Teams have tried it 82 times, and the end result is an abysmal negative 0.71 EPA per play and a 37.8% first down rate. Brett Coleman actually just put out an incredible video breaking down Vic Fangio's coverage schemes, so go give that a watch afterwards if you want to understand why this defense is so hard to throw against. So in the context of this Eagles defense, a run out of shotgun honestly looks like the best option. Sure, it's not a good option, but it's the least bad option against a Super Bowl winning defense. Indeed, if we look at other notable games where Lafleur has made this call and had it not work out, like the Ravens, we see a similar pattern of the shotgun run being the least bad option against that defense. So we've seen that the data does actually support Lafleur calling shotgun runs in these high leverage situations, but it's kind of unsatisfying to just end the video there. Going back to our case study, why did the Packers call this shotgun run play specifically? There's a lot of different things you can run from shotgun. Surely they had something better than this. And I believe I have a simple and satisfying answer for that question. This is the Packers no-huddle run call. Now, I'm in no way affiliated with the Packers organization. I'm not in their team meetings. I'm not on their sideline. So I've got to explain and back up this conclusion. So first up, the quantitative data. Using our trusty NFL-verse data, we can see that 80% of all of the Packers no-huddle runs have been from shotgun. Hi, Editing Connor here. I have no idea where the hell I got this 80% number from. It's actually only like 67%, which is still a lot, and the point still holds, but yeah, good reminder to always save your initial exploratory analyses so you can reproduce them later. Okay, anyways, back to the fun. That's certainly a strong figure, and if we quickly flip through the all 22 of all of these plays, we can see that they're all basically the same run. Lending even more support is the fact that the Packers had ran this same exact play, this no-huddle shotgun run, 3 times previously in this game. Now, to Lafleur and Love's credit, this play had actually worked incredibly well the last time it was called, as Josh Jacobs took this one in for an 8-yard touchdown. However, that leads us nicely to our final data point, and this one is some very convincing qualitative data. The Eagles knew the Packers were running this play before the ball was snapped. As you can see right here, Jalen Carter literally calls it out at the line and then takes off like a rocket to blow this play up before it can even get started and win the game for the Eagles. Though Nick Sirianni did really do his best to try to lose this game after this, but I don't have the time in this video to break down whatever the hell he was doing there. So there you have it. The worst play call in football is good, actually. Bye.